What's going on, everyone? Scotty here from the Breakevens, giving you another Supercoach team preview today. Today we have the Sydney Swans, last year's runners-up. Could you class them as runners-up because they didn't really get to the ground? It felt they got smashed. But I mean, technically they were there, but a very relevant Supercoach team. So got a lot to get through. So just before we do that, though, I need to make sure that you can follow me you can find me on X at Breakevens Pod, on Facebook, The Breakevens, and here on YouTube, The Breakevens. Like, follow, and subscribe for all AFL Supercoach content. And if you missed any of the previous videos, make sure you go check them out. A whole bunch of information, just like there's going to be in this video. So let's get into it. The Swans, they finished top of the ladder after the home and away season, so the minor premiers. But as I said, runners up in the loss to Brisbane, where, yeah, apart from Chad Warner, no one else really decided to show up. So is what it is. A few outs, a few ins. So let's go through them. So the ins, Riak Andrew, pick 55. So Mac Andrews' brother has come in. Riley Bice, pick 41, a mature ager. Ned Bowman, pick 26. Jesse Datoli, pick 22. Blake Ledler was picked up in the rookie draft, and Ben Patton was also picked up in the rookie draft after being delisted from St Kilda. So looking there, not huge ins really that we know of or know a lot of. Ben Patton, obviously, but I don't think he's just there for any injuries, I feel. The outs, though, Harry Arnold was delisted. Jacob Constantine was traded to North Melbourne. Jaden Mayer was delisted. Lachlan McAndrew was delisted. Luke Parker was traded to North Melbourne. Sam Reid retired, and Cooper Vickery was delisted. So obviously the big one there is Luke Parker. One of their heroes for a long, long time, sort of fell out of favour. Missed a whole chunk of last season due to injury and suspension. So it was time to move on. It seems Sam Reid would come in and play 2 good games a season. Not a big one. Jacob Constantine is a good medium-sized forward. Well, small to medium-sized forward. But just couldn't get into the side. But apart from that, everyone else you didn't really hear from. So, not too many major outs. Just really Luke Parker is that one there. So, preseason news: Longmire out, Dean Cox in is the big one. We could hope for some role changes, but we'll get into that very soon. Isaac Heaney has been only training forward. He should return to training in the mids at the start of this year. By the time this goes out, they've already started training. He should return to the mids, but I'm sort of thinking maybe he doesn't. Maybe he goes back to that forward and plays majority there. But it all depends on what Cox wants to do with your likes of Callum Mills and Angus Sheldrick, which is a great segue because Angus Sheldrick is looking fit. This was just after Christmas. He's looking to take potentially Luke Parker's role. So if we all know Luke Parker, 60% CBAs was his game, and then 40% up forward, made an impact in both. I don't think Sheldrick is going to get 60% CBAs if he plays, let's be honest. I think, though, he could be good for 30 to maybe 40, but maybe pushing it a little bit. But we've seen glimpses. They rate this kid. He's very, very talented. He can impact the scoreboard quite easily. He's got a hard work, a high work rate. He tackles hard. He's definitely someone that they could look at that's young to take over that Luke Parker sort of role there. And at this stage, it looks like Matt Roberts is locked in on some kicking duties. But apart from that, not much out of Sydney. The big one, though, Longmire is out. So let's go to the super coach selection. So in the primos, we have Nick Blakey at 525K as a defender. He went around 95, I believe, last season. Can he get to 100 plus? He's very exciting. He gets the ball and he runs with those quick side movements and his little lizard hands. Best nickname in the game, the lizard. I absolutely love it. And every time I'm watching and he gets the ball, it's like the lizard. Can he go 100 plus? Is he relevant for standard? Probably not. With Matt Roberts down there, potential for a few others. I think that 95 to 100 is him, and I think you can get better for less, in my opinion. Isaac Heaney, 629K as a mid. Can he back up last season? For those who started with Heaney, you were rewarded basically the whole season. And if you're like me and you got him in the first couple rounds, after that, you banked a lot of points, which was good. Trading forward worries me a little bit. How much mid time is he going to get? Um, it all depends on Callum Mills. Is he going to play in defense? Is he going to play in the mids? That's what is going to decide how much mid time Heaney gets. So I'm probably fading Heaney now just to see what his role is, especially mid only. There's not as much upside to like last year where he was forward. So probably an avoid for now. Errol Goulden at 581K as a mid. He went 108 in 2024, which is a bit low. It wasn't the greatest season for Goulden. He started very slow. Can he push 115? We know he can. Uh, this guy in his first two games of AFL football is averaging 130 super coach points. What's his role going to be? Is he going to be that mid wing sort of role, or are they going to give him more mid time? Yes, he's great on the wing. He's one of the best kicks. That left foot of him is absolutely impeccable. Are they going to play him more mid time and go, okay, Heaney, you play a little bit more forward. Gordon, you come in. You got McInerney on the wing. Maybe got a Sheldrick on the wing, and there's someone else who plays wing for him that I've forgot about. But um, again, I'm probably fading Gordon. Yes, his value, but they have that early buy, so that's the big thing for me. Next is Chad Warner at 559K as a midfielder. It's a contract year, so everyone's saying this year to own Chad Warner. He could go 115. Contract year. Is he going to stay? Does he want to add a few zeros, or is he going for a few more zeros? He's one of the most exciting players to watch when he's on. There's just a few games here and there where he doesn't get into the game, but when he's firing, he's busting out of packs. He's getting the ball forward. He's doing it himself, basically. He gets the ball, breaks a few tackles, and then he'll have a shot from 50. It'll go in. He was the only guy that decided to show up in the grand final. So he has a point to prove, hey, you want me to stay? This is what I can do. You're gonna pay me more. Because if not, he gone. Chad Warner gone. Not sure where, but he gone. So probably not a super coach selection until after their buy in round 14. but definitely a watch because of that contract year. Brody Grundy is the last Primo at 574K as a ruck, average 106 in 24. Can he get back to 110? I think that's past him. He was a lot better last year than the last couple seasons where, injured at Collingwood, went to Melbourne. That didn't really work with him and Gorn. He needed a fresh start, started off really well, faded here and there. Another season into him, a fit preseason, he could go 110, but at 574, you got guys cheaper who could potentially do the same. So probably an avoid for Grundy for me. Mid-price value picks, we have two here. So first is Matt Roberts at 434K as a defender. He's got the kick-in duties. He dominated at the end of the season. Can he finish 100 plus? That is the big question. Now, I did his player profile last night. I was doing some research on that, so make sure you look out for that. The one thing I found though is when he did well, Justin McInerney was injured and out of the side. So before then, at the start of the season, it was slow, sort of trying to find his way. He got injured. He came back in. He was solid. McInerney went out, and then Roberts went ballistic. I'm just worried that with a fit McInerney, we go back to seeing an 80 averaged Matt Roberts. So I was big on him all this whole preseason, this whole time. I was big on Roberts because the end of that season, but actually doing a small deep dive, I'm actually off him because at 434K, it's quite awkward, and you will be buying him as a primo selection because there's no point using him to hopefully jump 100K and then move someone on. No, this guy can he's expected to go 95 to 100. You're not making too much money, so it is very awkwardly priced. And with that McInerney news, sort of on the back burner for now, but keep an eye, see what he does in pre-season. Next is Callum Mills at 357K as a defender. With Longmire out, is this a new start for Mills? Someone who went 118, I believe, in one season. We tipped him to go 120, 125. He can easily do that, but he was Mr. Fix-It for Longmire. They started off poor, like teams got a few quick goals. Mills was back there, rallied the troops. All right, nothing's getting past. He'd fix that problem. He'd go forward if someone went down, give it to Mills, even play a tagging role or just a mid role in general. So what's his role going to be under Cox? If he is playing midfield under Cox, he's the biggest lock in AFL Supercoach that we've probably seen for a while. He's a huge lock. If he's playing in defense, I'm hesitant to start him. Just because he's probably an 80 to 85 guy in defense. If he's mid, he's 110 plus easily. That's at a minimum. I can see him going 115 if he plays that full mid. So Dean Cox, play him in the mids, help us super coaches out. But just keep an eye on his role and see how that goes. Then make a decision off that. The rookie's 113K defender is Riley Bice. He's a mature age guy that they picked up, pick 41, looking to make an impact early. He's in the mix right now. He's training well. They're looking, at him as an option. Does he break in? It's going to be tough for him to break in. They didn't really lose someone in that defense. Like Constantine is a forward. Parker's a mid forward. Sam Reed's a forward. Apart from that, no one else really played. So, is there a spot there? probably not, but just keep an eye on him. His mature age, he's that bigger body, so he could potentially help out there. Next is Angus Sheldrick, 161k mid. If he's best 22, he is a lock. With Parker gone, he could fit straight into that role at 161k. If he goes at an 80, he's going up to 300k. So let's just hope he's not the sub. Give this kid a go. He's a gun. Give him a go so we can just sit him on our benches. And the last one is Caleb Mitchell, 119k midfielder. Could be someone who could be fighting with Sheldrick potentially. Been in the system for 2 years now, I believe. Is he best 22? I think Sheldrick is over him, to be honest. And if he plays, he's a massive sub risk. So Sheldrick's the one to really look out for. But Riley Bice is someone who I think could be a little smoky rookie for us come the start of the season. And that's all the Supercoach selections. So let's go through the buys and the fixtures. So Sydney have the round 3 buy, which they share with Brisbane, Collingwood, and Geelong. Terrible, terrible buy. If you're looking at a Golden, you're looking at a Roberts Mills. You have Coleman there. You've got Dunkley and Neil. You've got the Ashcroft brothers there. For Geelong, you got Bailey Smith. Some are looking at Max Holmes. If you want to risk it with a Tom Stewart. And then Collingwood, you have Dacos. And you're probably not starting Houston. And those who are feeling risky might go with a Perryman or a Darcy Cameron. So there's a lot of big names out there that all share the same buy. So that's what's sort of keeping me away from most of these guys. I think if Mills is playing that mid role, you have to play him. And does that mean you don't go with Kitty Coleman? Or, if Mills is playing that defensive role and Kitty Coleman's playing, do you just go Kitty Coleman? Decisions you're going to have to make. So just wait and see on players' roles, see how your team's looking for those buys and figure it out there. They also have the round 14 buy, which they share with Collingwood, Gold Coast, and Richmond. That's an easier buy. There's only 1 or 2 names per team that you're probably looking at there. It's best 18, so that's easier to be managed with that flex role anyway. Let's get into their fixture. So they play the Hawks in round 0, which should be a good game, but because it's round 0, it doesn't count for Supercoach, so we don't care. In round 1, though, they play the Lions at home, the grand final rematch. They got Freo away in round 2, the bye in round 3, the Roos away in round 4, the Pies away in round 5, that's gather round, and round 6 at home against Port. So Lions is a tough one. Freo away is always tough. The Roos, they should beat Pies. Pies are usually pretty good away, but what are they going to bring early? And Port at home, you'd think they'd get over, but that it will be a tight contest. So a hardish start there for the Swans. They play the Lions twice, the Bombers twice, Freo twice, the Giants twice, Roos twice, and Port twice. So Bombers and Roos, you'd think they'd go 4 from 4 there. So I'd say, they might snag a win against the Giants, maybe even 2, and they'd probably snag one against Port. So 50-50 there. Could probably be a lot worse in that they finished first on the ladder last season and were runners-up in the grand final. So not too bad. Very Supercoach relevant side. A few cheaper guys there. But at this stage of the preseason, it's always just wait and see what their roles and where they're training. So that's going to do it for the Sydney video. So make sure you go check out any of the other videos that you may have missed. A whole bunch of information there, like this one. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, on X, Twitter. That's, come on, that's 2 years ago. On X at Breakevens Pod, on Facebook, the Breakevens, and here on the Breakevens YouTube channel. Like, follow, and subscribe for more daily AFL Supercoach content. I'll see you tomorrow. So until then, it's bye for now.